This is Terrible Tactics, and today we're gonna take a look at the Missionaries of Itza. Hello and welcome to the Miscast table. My name is Jonas, and today, from the Book of Terrible Tactics, we're gonna take a look at some of the Lizardmen. For this tactic, you want to utilize Lord Kroak, one skink priest, preferably with a cloak of feathers, granting the fly special rule. And if you want to enhance this tactic, you might want to deploy an additional skink priest to have a backup, and Teto Echo to make use of his Eye of the Old Gods, which grants the Vanguard special rule in the deployment. Let's get into exactly what this tactic is and why it is so devastating. The key player here is Lord Kroak. He has a very specific high magic spell called the Deliverence of Itza, and this spell is uniquely granted to Lord Kroak, and to cast it, each unit within 10 inches of Lord Kroak is damaged by 2d6 strength 4 hits if successfully cast. Lord Kroak can then cast an advanced mode, which increases the range to 18 inches, or an even further advanced mode to 24 inches, but then the casting value is increased to 18, respectively 24. Whilst this seems like a kind of powerful spell in of itself, being able to cast this spell multiple of times in the magic phase, dealing quite a hefty sum of damage, Lord Kroak is limited by being so point heavily costed and not having a great movement characteristic, so he's quite likely to be caught off guard if you send him into the front lines. But that's where this terrible tactics come into play, because the Lizardmen have something called Arcane vessels, meaning that their skink priests can act as a proxy wizard for the greater wizard to channel their devastating magic through. And the key item utilized here is the Cloak of Feathers, granting the fly special rule, meaning that in the movement phase you can set up your skink priest, moving them up to 20 inches, which is a huge range. And then you just set them up in position, and then each unit within 10 inches of the skink priest is going to be caught by the spell channeled by Lord Kroak. So in this scenario, all three of these Orcs and Goblin units are going to be caught by the skink priest. And since Lord Kroak has this spell with the special rules that it grants, he can cast this spell as many times as there are power dice in the power pool. Meaning that if you successfully cast it once, then you can just keep on casting it until you run out of power die or until you break concentration on Lord Kroak. But this is a kinda dangerous tactic, because if your opponent knows what you're up to, they're gonna catch on real quick and then they're gonna try to kill your skink priest. And that's where Teto Echo comes into play. Because Teto Echo, whilst in of itself, is a kind of good magical unit. You can utilize him just fine, he has high magic and is more than capable of bringing his worth onto the table. He does have a very specific item that is called the Eye of the Old Gods, and it grants D3 units at the start of, before the game has started, Vanguard. Meaning that you can set up your skink priest, giving him and any other units that you are lucky enough to roll this Vanguard move, allowing them to move 12 inches ahead of the game to get into position, so that you can utilize that fly mechanic and the march to set up their perfect position, so that you can maximize the damage output. And this is a really fun trick. If you watch the battle report where Mons played against Johnny, he utilized this exact tactic against us, and we were like, okay, this is something we want to showcase further. So that's kind of one of the ideas behind Terrible Tactics.
So it's gonna be every unit within 18 inch.
Yeah. Oh, that's a scary one.
So that's
every hostile unit, I hope.
I'm not sure, but I can live without them if I can kill you. That's 11, 13, 15, 19, 23.
So it goes off?
It goes off. Let's see if we can stop it.
Ooh, that's not good enough, I think.
4. So 10, we have 15,
20.
we have 16, 20, yeah. What happens?
Every enemy unit within 18 inches.
All of them, except the bolt throwers. Yeah, and that guy as well is not within. So.
Are these ones within?
These guys are also within, yeah.
Oh, danger zone.
2 D6 strength 4 hits.
A bit scary.
Okay, I kind of like this strategy, like this tactic. So, with that said, it's always like a good idea to speak to your friends and to the playgroup that you are part of before you bring this kind of tactics to the table. Because whilst it might be fun, it can also be like a bad experience if you use it against an army that isn't well equipped to deal with it. Coming up here is a short chart showing roughly the chances of how many power dice you should allocate depending on the distance that you want the skink priest to be able to hit. And using this short die, you can like make a mental note before you head into the game, like okay, if there's a unit within 18 inches that I really want to hit, but I also want to hit this other unit, then I should probably allocate at least 3 or 4 die if I want to make it happen. Because whilst it's a quite easily to channel 10 plus on any number of dice with Lord Kroak, since he's a level 4 wizard, when you get up to 18 plus in casting value, you really need to think about how many dice you want to spend. Lord Kroak has a somewhat of a safeguard against miscasts, where he can mostly ignore them unless he rolls a 1 on a specific rule that he has. But that said, it's never a like good idea to waste power dice. Like, try to spend them wisely. And with that, I hope this video gave you some fun ideas for your Lizardmen armies. Or if you have a friend in the playgroup that you want to like introduce to this kind of shenanigans. And a special thanks goes out to Johnny, who lent us these perfectly painted Lizardmen armies. It's always a pleasure to have them on the table, and especially when he pilots the army. Please check out his Instagram down below, where you'll get to see more awesomely painted models from his vast collection of Warhammer models. It's everything ranging from Warhammer Fantasy to Age of Sigmar to 40k to like fun ideas that he has like put paint on. So make sure to check it out. And if you do enjoy the channel, it would help us out if you would like leave us a comment, a like or a subscription, or share your own experiences with playing Lizardmen, preferably with Lord Kroak and this kind of shenanigans. And with that, see you all in the next video.